Whoa! My hair's weird.
Wanted is done very well, and people behind it are funny as well. With the handful of times I've interacted with Marcus, he is a good dude.
I'll be real with you, because I was in like early episodes. When they first started doing this, I was like, these videos are great. So high production, so well done. But they were sitting like at like 1 million views in some cases, or maybe like 700,000. And I was just like, is this really viable though? Because I know a little bit about the back end, how much money they're spending on the episodes and stuff. And I'm like, is this really ever going to grow to the degree that, you know, this isn't just going to be hemorrhaging money? Is this really a solid investment? But it's probably working out. This channel is definitely being done with the sponsors, because I've talked to you guys before about the economics of YouTube, because some channels are just entirely run by getting a huge sponsor. Like they'll make a one-off video that is amazing and they won't release it until they have a sponsor that will pay them enough for it to be worth it, basically. My channel, if I tallied up all of my other revenue sources, memberships, YouTube live stream, Twitch live stream, merch, or sponsorships, I'd say 60% of what I make in a month, maybe more, 70% maybe, is just ads on my YouTube videos. Because that's my model. My business model is to release bigger videos that get a lot of views, and in between smaller videos that don't do as well, but they kind of keep things engaged. February is always my worst month every year, and I hate being in it because it just makes me sad. Channel's still doing well. Why is February the worst month? I don't know definitively, but my theory is that most people on YouTube take time off during January because it's the lowest ad revenue month. And so everyone comes back in February, or they don't release their videos in January because they're for the low ad revenue, but then they release them in February. So February becomes overly competitive. All in all, I'm doing quite well this February. Like the last couple of Februaries, I've dipped down to like 5 million views in the month. I'm currently sitting at 7.8. You're surprised the Saints Row video did as well as it did? I'm actually curious what the engagement rate is on that. Like a very long video like that doesn't need high engagement to be successful. So only 40,000 people got like close to the end kind of thing. But like 40,000 people watching a 2-hour video is a lot. It's a small audience here. What do you guys think that video made? 223,000 views. The video is 3 hours long. Glow was just incredibly close, like just immediately. Pala's on it, yeah, 2,500. Like for a video this long and the insane amount of effort that went into making it, like it's, like I'll probably pay the editor a little bit extra or something, because it's just, well, I actually had production problems. I had to have 2 people work on it. So it's definitely not a video I'm making money on. Like I'm successful enough that the money isn't what I'm going for, it's the content, right? I'm just trying to get out as much as I feasibly can to keep people engaged. Because every little bit of content is advertisement for my other content that can lead to other views and stuff, right? Isn't it scary to be 70% dependent upon ad revenue on YouTube? Why not bring in outside sponsors? Oh, I do. But when you release videos of differing view amounts, and those views are not amazingly huge, it's hard to get consistent sponsors or sponsors for a lot of money. The business model I have, releasing a lot of videos rather than having just huge spectacle one individual videos, is not good for sponsors, but it is good for ad revenue, right? There were some years there where I got, like around 2020, 2021, my strongest years, in COVID years, I did do a lot better. Or COVID just after COVID, like I did better with sponsors. But one of the problems these days is that while the algorithm still does favor new videos, it doesn't favor it as much as it used to. And as well, the more content that I produce, the more I'm competing with my own content for views. If you just take any random episode of Pacifist, look how crazy this is. Episode 20 has under 1 million views. It's the episode with the Among Us stuff, but whatever, like this is my least successful Pacifist episode, and it's still getting views on the playlist and stuff. So the people who could be watching my new videos are watching episode 20 of Pacifist, you know? But that's a good comparison, actually. See, that video made about the same amount of money as the Saints Row video in 5 years. Reload Pacifist in one long vid. I could do that, but I still think it's more valuable for me right now to keep them all as individual videos. There was a period where I was trying to get all the footage from Pacifist to remake all the episodes, like actually have the timelines and stuff. But I realized it's not feasible. Like I'm not trying. It just would drive me crazy, and I don't have the time. What about your compilation videos and out of context? Out of context is my least successful series. I really should get rid of it. I love it, but it's just not good for the YouTube meta, and people aren't interested in it.
If you ignore the age of all the old stuff, it's brand new content to watch.
The thing is, to anyone who hasn't seen it before, it is brand new content. The goal with my channel was always to make a large back catalog of stuff that people can watch at any time. I've upped the amount of shorts I've been releasing, to the degree that I'm actually losing money on shorts, and I'm losing money on the weekly update stuff as well. But having that stuff for all the platforms and being able to keep myself abreast of the goings on of the news and stuff without having to be on Twitter myself, I really enjoy the value I get from that series. And I think we can continue to refine it as we move into GTA 6 and stuff. Like, it's a good trial thing for a lot of different things. But I deleted a lot of videos. Everything made before 2019 was trash. I'm sorry, it just was. Like, I'm going through my 2019 videos now, and like, I was just uploading random clips of stuff. And all those random clips were eventually put into compilations, the compilations that exist at the beginning of, so like all the old clips I uploaded became this. In fact, I would love just to remake the first 10 episodes of my Facts and Glitches series and renumber them all, because the first 10 episodes, very weak. They are poorly edited, the presentation's poor, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think. They do contain within them also a few that are arguably a little bit inaccurate, or became inaccurate. What happened to that one Simeon versus Rocco video? Yeah, that for example, I took down because it just did terribly. I'll put it back up as a member video eventually. But yeah, I'm done removing videos, but I make them members. Everything made from 2020 and onwards, I can stand behind. As effectively as good as the stuff I make today. But before that, it's a bit hit or miss. It's like if you go back and watch season 1 of Chaos. You always miss the rambles. After a while, YouTube stopped recommending them to me. So like, my Rambles channel was successful as a commentary channel, but it wasn't successful as a business venture that took my time. When I did Rambles for the main channel, I worked on them personally. I'd often edit them myself. I'd edit them quickly after streams. I'd throw them together. The people who edited my other videos would find Rambles in my content, and we'd put them into Rambles as well. And so that took a lot of time and energy and effort. It just didn't see a return on the time and effort. That's the problem with life. Everything has an opportunity cost, and it just wasn't worth it. So that's from the business standpoint, but from a personal standpoint, I utterly despise the state of discourse on the internet. The incentive structures that have caused there to be like a significant benefit in just not caring whether what you're saying is true and just throwing out as much as possible. So many channels to a greater or lesser extent, going to other YouTube channels, taking their video ideas, largely taking their scripts, rewording it, and just making their own video. And so it becomes like the Ouroboros, the snake just eating itself. Like there's nothing new getting in. It's just people, to avoid the requirement of research and effort and learning about stuff, they just steal other people's shit or just espouse with confidence anything that they hear because it's more engaging that way. Like, think about the videos that you watch on YouTube these days about any topic and how often they actually argue for what they're telling you. It's very uncommon. They present to you a narrative in a quick, snappy way that if it doesn't conflict with something you already believe, or it conforms to what you want to believe, you easily accept it. But there's no arguments. There's nothing convincing you. You might get a single word, like a flash up on screen of a paper that will never be discussed. And that's what the online world is now. And it's awful. It feels as though over time, people have lost their ability to argue, to understand the soundness of arguments and stuff. What constitutes evidence? And I look at this and I go, this is just the worst fucking landscape of misinformation ever. And there's absolutely no punishment for getting anything wrong or lying. And the immoral things that you have to do to really be competitive in that landscape is awful. I, for example, see this guy on TikTok all the time who's like breaking news, and then he will just talk about stuff that just happened. But journalists have come out and they've been like, look, all you're doing is just taking our work, our research, of things we've discovered, and then putting it in your content without credit. That's not helping us. That's just people are now going to you for news, even though we're the ones doing the effort. And the people who do that are the most successful. Because when you are the one aggregating rather than the one doing, you're in the best circumstances, right? Why remove videos and not let them sit and get views? So I had this idea that I want every time a video to be recommended to a person, that person can go, a Dark Viper video. I know this is a good video because it's a Dark Viper video, and they click it and watch it and like it. But with a lot of my older stuff, it was at such a low quality that I couldn't conceive of anyone enjoying it. And for the videos that were getting no views, as in not getting recommended in browse or suggestions, I couldn't see why I'd bother keeping it up, because no one's watching it and no one will watch it because the algorithm's not recommending it at all. But I learned that at least someone at YouTube suggested that when you delete that video, it deletes it from the watch history, the back end of people's accounts. So the algorithm has them watching one less of my videos. So they are less likely to get recommended my other videos. Now, for my less successful videos and very old videos, I doubt I had much of an impact, but it probably has some impact. So there's no reason to get rid of videos, right? So now I just make them members. Like, I do not regret for a single moment removing the older How This Video Ended episodes. The first generation, which was just me clipping the end of my runs, and the second generation that was a weekly edited version of How This Video Ended eventually came. The compilations are way better than those. Do the shorts bring money? So shorts right now pay 20 cents per 1,000 views. And that's engaged views, I believe. Yeah, so you can't see engaged views publicly, but to know how many engaged views a short has, just halve it, basically. It's a very dumb thing that YouTube did to change it. So like engaged views, which is like watching more than a couple of seconds, is half of views. I assume they put views front and center because they wanted just the numbers to look bigger for other people. Yeah, engaged views is just like you watch for a couple of seconds. Like when you swipe, that's now a view, but you have to actually watch for it to be engaged view. And for me to break even on the amount that I pay for shorts, I roughly need 50 million. So I'm gonna be in the hole on shorts this month, but I have made money on shorts some months. But the shorts work to direct people to my other videos as well. I found Meadow through shorts before they were vertical. Apparently that format kind of made his YouTube career. So it makes sense I came from that era. I didn't make my YouTube career wins. But it was definitely a key point in my career where I had a bit of a blow up. The reason for that, see, all this was in my rambles. I can explain this story a million times and no one will ever hear it. You want to hear the story? Do people care? When TikTok was banned in India being the place where most of the internet is on the phone, YouTube was like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity we have to quickly push out our new shorts system, because they wanted to compete with TikTok. Because they're like, that's a whole market there looking for somewhere else to go, and bam, we're gonna put YouTube Shorts. So they push YouTube Shorts out the door. They didn't think though about how that would impact the algorithm. These days, there's two algorithms, the Shorts algorithm and the long form algorithm. But that wasn't the case when they pushed out Shorts for the first time. And so the algorithm is watching all these people watching all these clips that are under 1 minute in Shorts. They're going do. And the algorithm's like, holy shit, people love videos under 1 minute long. This is crazy. And so I'm looking at this YouTube channel that posts clips from other Twitch channels. Like, they don't make any of the stuff themselves. They post Twitch clips. And that channel went up by like 40,000% views over the course of a month. I'm looking at this like, what? And coincidentally around this time, there was some drama going on Twitch where people were getting DMCA'd for music that was in their clips from years ago. Copyrighted music, DMCA, people's channels might get taken down. So Twitch is like, just get rid of your clips, guys. And so I was like, oh shit. So I downloaded all my clips, like 28,000 clips. And so perfect storm, I have 28,000 clips of potentially good stuff. And I have a platform that seems to really like short videos right now. So every single day, I'm making like 12 edited clips, kind of. I hire like 28 people, give them like 1,000 clips each, have them go through to find the best ones. Like, I think I do 2 people per bundle. I had like 50 people or something. And then I got them all into a bundle. Then I went through them personally and every day uploaded like 12 clips and made like a shitty custom thumbnail. And all of them were just banging, flying off, blowing up on the platform, getting me heaps of views. Not a heap of money. Like, it was making a decent amount of money if the clip was above 30 seconds because it would get pre-roll ads. The channel blew up to 500,000 views, subscribers. It had hundreds of millions of views collectively. And so that, over a very short period of time, introduced me to a lot of people. But then of course, YouTube's like, oh, this is not how the long form algorithms don't be working. And so they split the algorithms and then the channel went straight into the ground. But my capitalizing on that moment was big for me. I found you after the appearance on The WAN Show. The WAN Show is the only podcast that I watch. I like Luke and Linus. I think a lot of stuff that people say about Linus, they only say because they don't like watch The WAN Show. The WAN Show is kind of like the most laid back. You kind of get sort of the sense of who they are as people. Would I ever go back on The WAN Show? I'd do anything with Linus and Luke if they invited me. Like, not in a parasocial kind of way. I mean, because I think it'd be a good business move, but I think it'd be fun. They seem like nice dudes and they have cool collabs with people. I think why people don't like Linus always is because he is kind of bad with criticism. It's a taste thing, maybe. I don't know if he's really bad with criticism, really. Like, you watch The WAN Show and he will just concede that, yeah, he was in the wrong or da. I think some people see being bad with criticism as just not agreeing with them. Like if a person says you're wrong and they don't agree, they go, well, you're just bad at criticism. Or if a person falsely accuses you of something or makes a criticism of you that's just entirely without basis, and you say as such, people will still say, well, you're bad with criticism. It's like when people leave comments and they say that my roleplay content sucks. And I would say that that has absolutely no basis in reality. I don't even do roleplay content. And some people look at that and go, well, you're just not very accepting of criticism now, are you? The degree to which that you can assess criticism as being valid or invalid is in large part dependent upon your understanding of what is being criticized. And so a person can make a criticism that's entirely invalid, makes absolutely no sense, based on the person or their content. And those ignorant of the person or content can see that criticism as being valid despite that, because they don't know any better, right? And so when that content creator does not engage with that criticism, because it's invalid, the person unknowingly will just be like, well, that person just doesn't take criticism well. And you can't avoid this. Like, it's very interesting talking about the intricacies of this career, except that it doesn't matter how much you talk about this, the overwhelming vast majority of people will never hear about it. As I say, my content reaches like 8 million people every month. It doesn't matter through what mechanism I communicate, I will only ever reach, at best, like 5%. It makes it very rare that any attempted communication with my audience is fruitful in a practical way, beyond just, being entertaining for the few that I do reach, or just being an outlet because I want to talk about stuff. You wanted to know where my viewership is from. Well, first I can show you age if you like. Age and gender. 13 to 17. Some of these people would make an 18-year-old account. So some of these should be down here. Like chop it off here, I think, put it down here kind of thing. Like I think, not that many, but it's like, you could just say the vast majority of my viewers are between the ages of 13 and 34. I suspect that the average age of a person watching me is like 23. And look, Alro in chat just said I am 23. Basically the age there. I have a significant amount of people up here too. You want to know where my audience is from. It changes a bit if you remove shorts, but it's still basically this. It's just India is overrepresented because of shorts. But yeah, so the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Australia, India, Poland. When it comes to this group here, combining the population of United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Australia, that is about equivalent to the United States, right? Germany is, sounds stupid here. Germany population is like 80 million or something. Okay, it is like 84 million. Canada's like 30 million or something, right? I gotta be stupid. Population. It's 40 million. So what's that? 120 million. And United Kingdom, actually, I don't know. I'd assume like 20 million. Oh, way lower, way higher, sorry. That's 70 million. Nowhere close. Yeah, 20 million really low because it's just, I'm in Australia, so we have 25 million, 27 million these days. So yeah, combines is like a United States population. It's like the list here is basically just dependent upon how many English speakers there are, really. Yeah, English proficiency ranking, exactly. As Jose said, just I was saying, yeah. Did you guys see that the AI Sora thing is going away? The AI video image generator thing? I said to so many people, privately, publicly, I'm like, this thing cannot exist forever. Like the cost to generate that shit is just extraordinary. Extraordinary to a degree that no one's gonna pay the sufficient money for it. I think AI is useful and AI will stick around, but I think this really easy, free to access kind of period of AI is coming to an end. I don't know how long it's gonna take or whatever, but like all these companies are losing on like every user, even those who are paying like the highest amounts of money, because the costs, but costs come down and all that jazz. But like, because you can just imagine this eventually becoming like a more segregated thing where people have their own little AIs on their own systems that they use for particular purposes, or like there's like a specific corporate AI thing where like corporations will pay like $5,000 or something a month to get access because it's useful. And all the people who are like taking screenshots of menus in restaurants being like, what am I meant to eat, AI? What is good on the menu? I remember reading something where a person's like, I went on a date and the person took a picture of the menu and I asked AI and I was like, this ain't gonna work, and I left. If you're looking for a book to read or an audiobook to listen to, I listened to the audiobook, get this book, The Will of the Many. This book came out very recently and it hit the best book, of the year and what people have read continuously. It is, I've talked about it on stream. It's amazing. And the second book just came out, one of the most highly anticipated books. It's out to read right now. It's called The Strength of the Few, but the audiobook doesn't come until I think the 11th of November. Like I've pre-ordered it. I don't fucking pre-order anything, but I cannot wait. It's so good. Hi! Getting to the end of a Viper Rambles episode proves that you like me and my work far more than the average person. Given that, it's possible that you might find value in becoming a YouTube member. Members get early access to all my videos, including Rambles, as well as access to my growing library of re-uploaded deleted videos, 5% off my merch, and the ability to leave comments and feedback before public release, which is incredibly helpful for me and my team. You also get a cute badge next to your name, so I can easily identify you in my comment section and live stream chats, and you can also use all my cute emotes everywhere on the channel. Lastly, after 3 months of being a member, you can submit on my Discord to join my GTA Online crew. Thanks for the consideration, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you enjoy future ones as well.